Well, good evening and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. And as always, it is indeed a blessing to be alive. I don't know about you, but I'd rather be seen today and not viewed today. And listen, by the way, I wanted to just tell those of you who called us last week, who called in, who came by and did all of the things that you do, thank you. We really appreciate what you do and why you do it. And we're going to continue in that vein to empower the least of them, to engage those who have been disenfranchised. And as always, we try to bring to you, the viewing audience, seasoned individuals who have been laboring in the vineyard, who love what they do and don't do it just because they got to do it. They do it because they're called to do it. And so I would be really remiss if I just went on and kind of took all of this time to introduce what we do at Fathers Who Care. You know what we do at Fathers Who Care. If you don't know, I encourage you to look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Interest, all of that stuff. All right? All of that. Just look it up. The young folks got us on everything out there. The young folks, you heard me. They got us on all of those social media outlets. And so I'm encouraging you to give us a call at Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821. But tonight, this show is going to be dedicated, of course, to what can we do specifically in our community. What can we do as servants for social change and or elected officials to empower each other, to engage each other, to encourage each other to go out there and do what's right for our community? Well, listen, I would not be caveat not talking about what's going on, Recorder, and I'm going to introduce the Recorder to you. But it's a shame before God what our community is currently in. I think we're in a state of crisis, personally. And I need to tell you, in case I have a moment or two up in here, I'm just warning you, I'm traumatized, all right? So I'm just telling you I'm experiencing post-traumatic stress, the disorder from all of this stuff going on in the community. So if I have moments that in and out, that's what it is. It ain't personal. You know? Okay. But anyway, listen, let me get on to the show. Of course, you know, Fathers Who Care is committed to empowering the least of us. And listen, we believe any man that's physically capable can make a baby, but it takes a real man to be a father. We believe if you really want change in the community, give folks a job. If you really want to stop the violence in the community, give young people stuff to do. Give them some realities. Give them some real things that they can get out there and involve in. And first of all, young ladies, I'm going to tell you right now, make sure you get actively involved with someone that's going to marry you before you start having these babies. All right? Because when you go off and these men leave the neighborhood, they leave the tribe, they leave the community, then there's no leadership, there's no guidance. So that was my spiel. I was having one of those moments.
Okay. All right. Got it.
That was the moment I was talking about.
Okay.
But anyway, listen, let me introduce the son, present the son, and introduce the others. Our Recorder of Deeds. Listen, you should know her just by her face, but if you don't, we're going to take the liberty to introduce her. Of course, our guest this evening is Recorder of Deeds, Karen Yarbrough. Karen is a woman of God. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a community servant for social change, and currently serves as the Recorder of Deeds for the office of the Cook County, which is the second largest recorder's office in the United States, second largest. And she might want to talk about that, and if not, we have some other things. Recorder Yarbrough is also the former state representative of the 7th Legislative District, where you served for 12 years. And also you're the former assistant majority leader for the House, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And I know you have a passion in your area that I believe, and I've seen this over and over, that your passion, the areas of passion that you express and you continue to show is in public health, public safety, and social justice for all. So I believe you're a servant for social change.
I am.
And you go on to have a mission, and your mission is advocacy, accuracy, efficiency.
That's right. In the recorder's office.
In the recorder's office.
That's correct.
Okay, now you're so passionate on behalf of empowering others. Tell us why you are so passionate. Basically, let's cut through the chase. Can I just call you Karen?
Yeah, would you?
Okay, Karen.
Thank you.
But I respect you as our Recorder.
Thank you.
But for this question, if you don't mind, I like to call you Karen. But listen, you're watching Fathers Who Care. We have our Recorder of Deeds, Karen Yarbrough. The number here is 312-738-1060. And we're talking about, if you don't mind, the state of the city and the Recorder's office. The state of the city, i.e. state if you feel like it, and the Recorder's office. And how can we engage our young people to be more actively involved in civic engagement? So, Karen, let me ask this question before we go and answer the calls that they're getting ready to blow up for you, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Who are you? Karen, who are you, and what is your purpose for existing? I mean, we know you do a lot of stuff, all right, in Maywood, Bellwood, out that way,
Sure.
the city, all over the
Sure,
place, the
sure,
state.
sure.
But who is actually Karen?
Let me first thank you for having me on your show.
Our pleasure.
And thank you for the work that you do
Thank you
in
so
the
much.
community. I believe that if everybody did a little bit in the community, you wouldn't have PTSD.
Wow.
You know, that's what I
Do
believe.
something, will y'all?
Yeah, I do
Help a
believe
brother.
that. You know, so often people look to somebody else to do it for them, and I get that. But what are you doing? So you asked a question. You know, who am I?
Right.
First of all, I'm a child of the Most High God. Okay, let's be
I feel
clear.
that. I feel
okay,
that. I feel
let's
that.
be clear. You know, I believe that everybody that's in this world has a charge. They've been given all kinds of gifts and talents, and they need to use them. And you get this span of time in your life in order to use those things, and you shouldn't be burying your talents. Okay, now that's
scripture.
yeah, that is scripture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Karen is fulfilling her mission in life to do the things that I do. I believe I've been called to do the work that I do. I know that my steps are ordered. So many people ask me. I was in leadership, you know, when I was in Springfield, and many people
As the system
ask
majority
me,
leader?
Yes,
Okay.
many people ask me, Karen, oh my goodness, you're at the top of the food chain. Why on earth are you going to leave here and go to Cook County? You know what a problem that place is. But my steps are ordered. There, you know, I have to fulfill my mission in every place that I've been. So, you know, what you don't know is that I was an independent businesswoman before I even went to Springfield. I ran an insurance agency and a real estate company. You know, reaching out in the community, very involved and engaged in the Maywood community, the Oak Park community, and the Chicago community.
So, in short, if you had to just give an overview, a brief one of who you are, just tell the people. You are.
I am doing the work of Him who sent me. Okay.
Now that you
All
can't get
right.
any
I'm
powerful
just
than
saying.
that.
I'm just saying. That's why I believe I exist. I believe that's why everyone exists.
I like
Get
that.
your work done.
Yeah.
Some of us don't have as much time. You know, when I think about out in Maywood, we had Fred Hampton. He was 21 years old. You know, when he was killed. But during those 21 years, he got a lot done, and we still celebrate him today.
Absolutely.
You look at Martin Luther King. How old was he? 39 years old. He didn't live very long, but he got a lot done. You know, he had the gifts and talents. You know, there's a reason why, you know, he was able to get a Nobel Peace Prize, you know, at the young age and get his degrees and all, because he wasn't going to be here.
Okay.
But a short time.
Okay.
So we all got our time. We don't know when our time is up.
Yeah,
but
in the season.
We should have an urgency about the work that we need to get done. And you know, and I know what gifts and talents that God has given me, and
Yeah.
I need to be using
Yeah,
those.
you can't abuse them because you sure will lose them.
Yeah.
But listen, do we still have that caller? And I want to apologize to the caller, but I had to hear it. I had to hear what our recorder felt in her heart, which I already knew it. But I wanted you to see the side that you probably don't see. Why she do what she do? Because when we're driven by a spirit beyond us,
Yes.
it's not work.
No.
It's not work. It's
a
our
mission.
life. Yeah, it's our mission.
It's our mission.
It's our life. It's our lifeblood to do the work. So let's see if we have that caller. Can we get that caller? If that caller's still on the line. Caller, are you still on the line?
Yes, good evening.
Hey, good evening. Thank you so much for calling and for being patient. We had to get a chance for the recorder to end. What's your comment or question?
I'm enjoying it. Let me tell you something. The young lady next to you is right. But let's talk about Martin Luther King and the other gentleman that has been killed. They were young. Well, you know what? To me,
We could barely hear you. I apologize. We could barely hear you. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to ask you a question. The question is, what do you think the state of the city and the recorder of deeds office is?
you know, you started off the program by talking about jobs.
Okay.
That keep the kids, off the streets.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. The mayor of this city just signed a multi-million-dollar construction deal with the Chinese.
What? So
Not
what you?
one African American. Now, my question is why?
Okay, can you
Why
hear?
hasn't anybody?
He's
Didn't
talking about
get
the
kids
deals
off
that
the
the
street?
Chinese
Keep
had.
them off the street.
So let me do this here because we can barely hear you. You might, if you can speak up, the recorder will be able to answer your question. What specific? Because I couldn't hear you, sir. But thank you for calling. What question do you have for the recorder?
Yes, when are we going to start getting jobs instead of the white people?
Okay, you heard that.
Yeah.
We got you now.
All projects in the city, and not one goes to us.
Okay.
What's wrong?
Okay, so
Okay,
it sounds,
thank you so much.
Yeah, it sounds like that he's concerned about jobs
Right.
for our people,
Absolutely.
and I can only assume that he's probably meaning African American people,
Right.
and why
He's
do
passionate.
the dominant group always end up with the positions. I can't answer that question. The why, but I know that we should be prepared when there is an opportunity. Now,
But let's ask this young guy, since he felt like he was passionate, and I won't accept that.
Mm-hmm.
How about you tell me, how can he be actively involved?
Well, he could be actively involved by, doing what he's doing right now,
Okay.
asking the question. Now, I don't know if
Or
he
maybe
went
voting?
he needs to vote, but
Right.
but he has an alderman probably. He
Okay.
has a state senator. He has a state representative. He has a mayor. He has all these people who are supposed to represent their interests.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, these people run for office. You vote for them, and then they go sit in these seats and they make decisions based on something.
Right.
Now you need to hold those people accountable. Now I don't know where this gentleman lives or any of that, but I know that he's represented by somebody from the president on down.
So you're encouraging him to...
I'm encouraging him to get involved
Okay.
and hold his elected officials accountable.
Now that's why we brought the recorder here, because we already had a passion where she was going to go. So since you opened up the door, I want to talk about why should young people be actively involved in the voting process. I got a two-part question. One is, why should young folks, even like the gentleman that called, and thank you again, why should they be actively involved in the voting process? I heard you say just now that they can hold folks accountable, right? Because I think folks are going kind of nutty nuts on this national level right now.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead, you take it.
Yeah, well, I mean, our folks died for us to get this vote.
Right.
We can't say that enough. And if I've heard this over and over again too, if you are not at the table, you are on the menu. Okay? If you are not at the table, you're on the menu. So many people
You might want to
say,
explain that to the folks.
I think people understand exactly what I mean.
You get that? If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Yeah, they're discussing you and maybe your demise.
Okay, how about this? Tell us what's new in the Recorder of Deeds office. Tell us what's new in the office up under your leadership.
We've got a signature program that we're going to roll out on the 17th, which is a Saturday, at Malcolm X College, and we want all of your listeners to come. Okay,
Saturday.
It's our Property After Death, and that's what this brochure is about. Property After Death workshop, and we're going to tell people how they can transfer their home, their car, and their bank account without going through probate.
So now normally it was done through a will, and normally stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
and then
so you're saying there's something outside of a will.
I'm saying there's something outside of that. We want to share that with the people of the Chicagoland area so that they can save money.
Okay. So again, this is Saturday.
This is Saturday, the 17th.
And what time is it?
10 to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And there's going to be vendors there. There'll be attorneys there that people can talk one-on-one with.
That's Property After Death.
It's called Property After Death. Now, we're also going to discuss our free property fraud alert program as well.
Tell us what that is.
Now, this program allows people to sign up, to protect their homes.
Okay.
In Cook County, people
So you're about home ownership.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. The land is here forever.
Okay.
But it's who owns it is what changes.
So if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
You are.
even with land.
Oh yeah.
So you're trying to
for
tell
sure.
us, you're trying to tell us how to be wiser in transferring our property
That's exactly right.
and owning property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes what happens is these scammers are out there,
Okay.
and especially for senior citizens, they will change the name on their deed, and the next thing you know, they're there to change the locks on the door and put people out. Okay, this has happened. Okay, and you're going to hear from Mario Reed in a bit.
Okay, let's get this caller.
He's the one that goes over this kind of stuff.
Do you want us to bring Mario up in a little while? But we got a caller for you. Can we take the caller first, and then we'll kind of bring Mario on? Caller, thank you so much for calling. Your comment or question, please. We have the recorder of deeds, Karen Yarbrough, on the show.
Hello?
Yes, what is your question or comment? Thank you for calling.
I got a question, and I know that, you know, you're the recorder of deeds, and hello to you.
Hello?
Hello?
You actually need to turn your radio down because we can hear the backlash on that.
Okay, I done walked away from it.
Okay, well, go ahead. What's your question, please?
I got a question, just asking her a question, considering that she's someone that's very important, and you know, and work with, you know, with the people. I want to know what is going on. The reason why the after school and whatnot is being taken out of all these different schools. They're not giving the schools funding for after school. I don't know if you can answer that question, but I just want to.
Okay. Well, listen. Let's give her a chance. Thank you again for that. She was talking about after school program
I'm
funding.
not sure about the after. You know, I don't live in the city of Chicago, so I don't know about.
I know what it is.
Program. So maybe
they don't have no money.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
There it is. And that's a way to go ahead and raise more taxes, to tax you in your water, tax you in your property, tax you with your garbage, tax you with your breathing, tax you with you walking down the street. If you ain't at the table, you're on the menu.
I think you like that.
I do like it. And it's a fact, too.
All right.
But
it's unfortunate, though, because
but it's a true,
we know,
it's a true fact.
We know that, you know, some of these programs, and see, you asked the question before about, you know, people getting involved in voting and holding their elected officials accountable. I mean, they have the LSCs, they've got, you know, school board members, they've got the mayor, you know, if you live in the city of Chicago.
And no state budget either.
Yeah, and no state budget.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
The problem is there's no resources coming from the state to go through the city to bring resources. I mean, that's why they had to pay the stop gap, right?
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead because we got a few minutes and we want to try to bring in Mario, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Mario's going to discuss what happened on
okay?
June 29th. Yeah, Mario,
and he'll also give us some information.
Yeah.
He'll give us some information about about Saturday too.
Yes,
but I think we want to talk to you, Mario, if you don't mind, recorder, specifically about this agenda item, this referendum.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't mind, we want to bring him up. Can we bring him up?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So we'll bring up Mario, and there you have it. TV. Hey Mario, thank you so much.
Thanks for
and
having
thank you.
us.
I want to thank the recorder for allowing you to come up and give us some legal ease in relationship to this agenda item that was proposed on June 29th. 2016 by the Board of Commissioners. The agenda item was 156190 to abolish, get rid of the Office of the Recorder of Deeds and or merge. Tell us what this is and what should we be thinking about in that area.
Yes, so thanks again for having me on.
Thank you.
What that agenda item was for was to propose a referendum question on the ballot this upcoming November.
Right.
So the commissioners decided, led by Commissioner Fritchie, to pose the question to the people of Cook County as to whether or not they believe that the office of the Cook County Recorder of Deeds should be abolished.
That's the recorder, Karen Yarbrough.
That is correct, Karen Yarbrough.
And they wanted abolish, meaning?
Abolish and merge that office together with the clerk's office.
The clerk of the court, David Orr.
David Orr's office, clerk of Cook County.
All right.
So
not the clerk of the court, but
not Dorothy Brown's office,
right.
The clerk of the circuit court.
So what should we be doing? What should we be thinking?
So
why is they doing that? Why?
So one of the reasons why they're doing it is allegedly because it could potentially save $800,000 a year. Allegedly. However, the recorder has already given back $1 million in budget each year.
So
over the last 2 years.
So, but I've never heard of this before. I've never heard of no one talking. I heard they talking about same kind of concept with the clerk's office.
Yes.
Of the circuit court.
That is correct.
Why they not talking about that with the David Orr's office?
That's a very great
Matter of
question.
fact, why they ain't talking about that with the aldermen?
That is a very great
Why they
question.
ain't talking about that with the mayor?
Great question. And
Just out of curiosity, what should we be thinking then? Why is this is being proposed, and what should we do? I know this has to do something with a referendum being on the ballot.
correct.
So what can we do if we don't think this is right, and that we think that this office should have its own independency, right? Is that the right
Correct.
word?
Its own independent elected official.
That's what I mean, right?
That's correct.
So what can we do to make sure that happens?
So the number one thing, as you've been saying throughout the show, is get involved in the voting process. But in addition to that, constitutionally, throughout the history of this country, active protest has always been something.
So wait a minute. Now, I like that. I'm into that.
And at which point,
I'm into that, and I think some of my folks in the coalition, we into that too. So what if we came, if we took a visit and met with some of our elected officials, particularly like Commissioner Borkin, Steele, which I know they didn't vote for it.
Correct.
But we know Chewy did.
That is correct.
And we know some of the others did.
and it was proposed by Commissioner Fritchie.
Yeah, about 10 of them, all right?
That is correct.
But we want them to know that we don't think this is right. So would it be in our power to pay them a visit, make a phone call, send some email, do that social media thing?
They are your elected officials.
All right.
They serve the interest of you and myself as their constituents. So I think they would love to hear from
And so for folks who don't think this is the right thing to do, to try to merge this office, for what? It don't make sense. I think this office have enough employees to be, as it has been, independent, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
And since the recorder of deeds, Karen Yarbrough, has taken office, she's actually reduced the number of employees, which has helped save the county money.
So I don't think it might be about the saving the money.
Well,
I ain't no politician.
There's a whole lot of money that's already been
I'm a
saved.
minister, right? So I speak truth to false. So I think they lying. All right. I think what it is, they don't like the fact that we have a sister in the office, that the sister have a powerful position in the office, and that the sister can make decisions to empower folk. Now that's just my opinion.
Evidence speaks for itself.
All right. So what I'm thinking, just as it was with Dr. Brown's office, all right? Now, I'm not saying people don't have ways and don't do things. Who don't, all right? But I'm saying if the people voted and the people said this is who we want in office, then who are you to try to take the wheel away from the people?
Absolutely.
Now, I'm having one of the moments.
And
I'm having one of the moments.
it's a good moment. It is a good moment.
I want to thank you all for tuning in. We have a few more minutes. So we want you to tell us, what can we do? Now, we know there's an event Saturday on the 17th.
This Saturday at Malcolm
Can you briefly
X
talk
College.
about that? And then I want you to come back and tell us, what can we do
Yes.
as a group to engage folk, to stand true to this injustice of trying to abolish and merge this recorder of deeds office, which don't make no sense to me, but you go ahead and talk to me.
Not one bit. So this Saturday, what it was that's going to be happening is we're going to be illustrating to individuals a brand new law that took effect January 1st, 2012. And it's called the Illinois Residential Transfer on Death Instrument Act.
I like the way you say that.
It's a great law.
But you educated me on some stuff with that.
Yes,
because
sir.
I was kind of out there, and you told us, wait a minute, you ain't got nothing.
No,
but I ain't gonna tell everything I know.
you don't.
I ain't gonna tell everything I know, but I'm sure gonna use it.
You got it. And at which
I'm sure
point,
gonna use it.
You're using that platform to help give others that knowledge.
Basically,
It's a
you
great
told me,
platform.
you say, listen, who all have the will? And with all of us raising our hand, all these ministers raising our, we do. Well, who all know where they property going when they die? We do. No, it's not. All right, you shut us all down.
And that's correct, because most people have the misconception that just having a will
Yeah.
ensures their house is going to go who they want it to.
So this is gonna happen Saturday. We'll
This
learn
Saturday,
more.
A lot more.
Okay.
Completely free event.
A free
Event.
hosted by.
Hosted by Karen A. Yarbrough, your Cook County Recorder of Deeds.
So we're gonna be talking about property.
After death,
Right.
we're going to be talking about property fraud prevention.
Right.
We're also going to have vendors there that can help save on property taxes.
Okay.
Also help save on your gas bill, your
I
light bill.
apologize. I got to go back here.
Okay.
This referendum.
Yes.
In November, should we vote? We should vote what?
So
To the referendum. It's going to be on the referendum like a yes or no.
that's correct.
Right? And it's going to ask us as we voting, what do you think? Should we such and such this? They're going to have the referendum laid out.
If you love services like all the ones that you've talked about today, then you should vote no.
Okay. Did you get that? So what we're saying is come on out on Saturday and learn a little bit more about this. And also we want to encourage you to go into the Recorder's website and learn more.
Cookrecorder.com.
Cookrecorder.com. And if you have any questions, you can give the recorder's office a call at what?
312-603-5050.
One more time on the number.
312-603-5050.
And of course, as always, you can give fathers who care in the West Garfield Park community stakeholders a number, because we kind of keep our ear to the ground on who's doing what and why they do it. But also, we want to encourage those of you who are watching today to get active, to be actively involved in what's going on around you, because if you're not actively involved, then you become not at the table, on the table.
The menu.
The menu,
On the
all right?
menu.
On the table. And I like that. I'm going to get that right all the way down, because I'm going to use that again. But listen, I'm telling you, if you're not at the table, you become a menu on the table. Is that right?
That is
You're
correct.
not at the table, you're on the menu.
You're on the menu. So that means they're going to eat you up. But anyway, listen, we want to thank you all for tuning in. We want to thank you, Recorder, for coming out. We want to thank you for the work that you've been doing. Continue to do the good work. We vote no on the referendum in November. We want to thank you, Mario, for being so strong and so powerful with our Recorder. You stand on some strong shoulders, Doctor.
Yes,
And we want
sir.
to thank those
Yes,
of you
sir.
who are watching, those of you who continue to follow us and support us. Thank you. God bless you. Continue to do the good work. Be a blessing to somebody else. It ain't all about you, but it's what you can do for the least of us. So we thank you so much. God bless you. God keep you. Good night, and keep the faith. We'll talk to you then on the other side. Good night now. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
And thank you for allowing us to kind of pick you for a lot of questions about what can we do to try to make sure that this referendum, or should I say this legislation that it ain't even legislation, is it? It's just a proposal, right?
It's a
recommendation?
referendum, and then if the referendum passes, then it'll become legislation that'll take effect in 2020.
So it's just a trial to see what folks are thinking.
No. It's a question. So
It's a question. That's the referendum.
It's a binding question.
Okay.
So